Build a case in your mind that it is actually possible. Now, this is a very interesting thing to understand about your mind and your motivation. You see, our motivation directly hinges upon how much of a case we can build around it being actually possible. For things that we know that are going to work, and the things that we have enough clarity, like if we do this, this, and this, we'll get what we want, then we become so much more motivated to do the stuff that we want. I remember one of the most empowering messages I first heard from Jordan Peterson was if you actually work hard, you actually have a chance at getting what you want. Crazy idea, right? But I think so many of us are so bogged down with limiting beliefs that even this being a possibility has escaped our minds. And so even realizing that our own ability to achieve goals, even realizing that is something we have to build. Realizing that it is actually possible for you. That is something that you construct. That is not something that you find out. That is not something that you look for other people to give you permission. I remember when I was studying how to draw and how to be an artist. Not like I want to necessarily do it as a full-time profession, but I did have aspirations of learning how to draw very well, even up to levels of photorealism. That inspired me. And I remember looking up, am I too old to become a master at drawing? And I think that's a common question we have with any skill. It's am I too old to start now? Because we're looking for a way out, right? I mean, we're genuinely curious because we are taught that unless you're good at something from a very young age, then you're screwed, right? And when you learn about mastery, in the process of mastery, and when you learn about how skills are cultivated, you end up dispelling those beliefs and you rid yourself of these limiting beliefs. And that's part of the process of building a case for yourself that it is actually possible. You think about your ideal life. See, a lot of us have even a hard time to vision out the life that we want because we don't even believe that we can actually get what we truly want. That's why we don't have the balls to vision out grand things. If I lived that would be the perfect life. We don't even have the balls to vision out ideas like this because we do not believe that it's even possible for us. What I'm here to tell you today is that you do not believe that it is possible for you because you haven't built a case for yourself. You see, it's all about how possible is it for you in your own mind, not in the minds of others. A lot of times we will look towards other people. It's do you think this is possible? Do you think this is possible? But those other people are also people looking to other people for permission on what is possible and what isn't. It's up to you to set that standard for yourself and not let anybody else make this decision for you. You have to be a visionary. I would say almost the definition of a visionary is someone that's able to see something that other people can't see. And the best leaders in history are those that have the clearest vision. And so the amount of clarity that you can develop around what you want and the stuff, the amount of clarity that you can develop will determine how possible you actually believe it to be. This is why I love the whole idea of my whole brand being around creating clarity. Because once you have the clarity that you need, then you can accomplish anything you want in your life. Anything. It's just a difference of clarity. For example, if you've never grew up around riches, then it can be hard to develop the clarity that you have. It can be hard to build a case for yourself that you could actually earn several $1,000,000 a year. But imagine, if another scenario where a kid grew up around millionaires and their parents were making millions every month. Now for that kid, his mind is very open towards the possibility that can be him, right? In his mind, he has, through his own upbringing, he has built the case for himself that it is actually possible for him. So for the people like us that are not lucky enough to be born in such a family of wealth, we need to construct this case for ourselves. We need to construct that amount of clarity to the point where we actually believe it's possible for ourselves. I believe that you need to vision out your goals to such a fine amount of clarity that you actually are confident enough to realize it can actually happen. You have to vision that amount before you even start. However, I will say though, most of the time, you will not have that clarity. All you need though is that ambition and that willingness to figure things out. That you cultivate that inner confidence that you have the ability to figure out whatever you need to figure out to get to your goal. I would say almost the definition of a grand vision is not knowing all the steps from A to Z. What makes it the journey is you trying to figure out all those steps. But I will tell you, as you start making the steps every single day, the path will start to reveal itself. As you take your first step, the next step will reveal itself. But you have to continue taking that action. So it's a combination here, right? To build a case for yourself, look at other people around you, like on the internet, that have similar stories to you, that have the success you want. Look at the people that have the success you want and study their lives. Study the greats that have biographies and autobiographies. How did they approach life? How did Arnold Schwarzenegger get the success that he managed to manifest? Right? There's biographies written on that. Right? I think he has a couple autobiographies, but I digress. Study the people that have what you want. And also try to study people that have what you want that were in a similar situation than you. And then study people that, were in a similar situation than you that got the same levels of success that you desire. So maybe it's not even the same domain, but it's the level of success you want, right? Surround yourself with peers that are high achievers, right? Meet people that are in positions that you want. Shadow them. Maybe you can be lucky enough to get them to mentor you using a permissionless apprenticeship. to help you get that apprenticeship. Just get yourself closer and closer to these experiences that will validate your beliefs around what you want to become, such that you can actually build a case in your mind like, oh, this is actually possible for me. You know, I think about myself, like, if I want to build a case in my mind that I could actually write a bestseller, I should meet some people that wrote bestseller books, or should study their process. You know, study people that wrote about their process, right? Such that I can see what it took for them, and then I can realize, oh, you know, what's it going to take for me? But overall, do not approach your goals unless you have that intention cultivated. All right, so I got a little bit distracted there. In conclusion, we need to build a case that is actually possible. Because once you can do that, then, and only then, do you have a chance, do you have a shot at accomplishing your dreams. And with that, I would like to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.